Is Bitcoin coming to your 401k? And, there's no secret here. I think people that listen to the Smart Investing Show know that we don't like Bitcoin.
What do you mean? Wait, I love it.
No, you don't. But, I mean, it's been several reasons we don't like Bitcoin. Fraud, illicit activity. I mean, those are really the primary use cases for it at the end of the day. And then the fact that I look at Bitcoin, there's no real way to derive an intrinsic value from it since there's no earnings, there's no cash flow, and frankly, there's not really anything backing the asset class of cryptocurrencies as a whole.
That's the thing that gets me. I mean, fraud is kind of a, subjective type of thing, or, but with Bitcoin or any other type of cryptocurrency, is Bitcoin worth $100,000 a coin? Is it worth 50? Is it worth $1 million? I mean, you don't know because there's no cash flow, there's no metrics, there's no valuation to look at. At the end of the day, the value of Bitcoin is going to be based on who is buying it and who is selling it. If more people are buying it, the price is going to go up. Stocks do that same thing too, but a stock is a piece of a business. That business has earnings, it has dividends, it has cash flow. So you can look at numbers, which with crypto, there's not a lot to look at. I mean, is it a technology? Is it a currency? Is it an investment? Who knows what it is? So the other thing I'll say to that is there are people who have made money in it, but it's not like that's the only thing that you can invest in to make money. It's like, oh, I'm so smart. I put $1,000 into Bitcoin and now I have $5,000. Okay, what are you going to do with $5,000? You're not buying a house anywhere. And there's been other assets that have appreciated, and so you can invest in other assets that you do understand that you can value, that you can get at good prices.
You know what I find so ironic with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is people generally that buy Bitcoin are worried about the U.S. dollar. And they say, oh, well, what is the U.S. dollar backed by? And it's backed by the full faith and of the U.S. government, which some people are like, oh, yeah, I don't trust that. But I'll tell you, ironically, what is backing Bitcoin? It's just people's faith in Bitcoin. I mean, to me, that's far worse than the U.S. government. That is a taxing entity. You have all of these people making all this money in the U.S. They have that ability to tax people and produce income. Bitcoin doesn't even have that. I mean, you have full faith in essentially nothing at the end of the day.
And the dollar is based on the full faith of the government because the government has ability to tax, and the government has the largest military in the world, so it has the power to reinforce that and everything. But with that said, we're also not saying have all of your money in dollars. You shouldn't have everything in cash.
It's not
anyway.
A like-for-like comparison.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we want to take dollars and we want to buy other assets. So we're not comparing Bitcoin to dollars. We're comparing Bitcoin to stocks or real estate or, anything else.
I mean, realistically, we have this conversation quite frequently. The only thing that I would invest in is stocks or real estate. Mm-hmm. Both produce cash flow. Both are good assets that I think have longevity to them because of what the assets are. Then the remaining amount of your cash should probably sit in a checking account or a high yield savings account if you have a short-term goal. Outside of that, I don't think there's any other need for investing in anything else because I only want assets to produce cash flow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't have to be more complicated than it is.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't. And the reason I was kind of intrigued by this Bitcoin piece was that the current Labor Department actually removed a language that cautioned employers to exercise extreme care before making crypto and related investments available to their workers. They cited serious concerns about the prudence of exposing investors' retirement savings to crypto given significant risks of fraud, theft, and loss. So now this Trump administration, they've been, really pro-crypto. They want to kind of title themselves as that. So they are doing these little things that seem to be making it more mainstream, essentially. And this was a step that potentially opens the door for more crypto and 401k plans.
Which that could potentially, that would increase the supply of people who would be putting dollars into there, which could cause the value to increase. But it could also make it more volatile if people are buying and selling. And I don't know if anybody's asking or how many people are asking to have Bitcoin in their 401ks, but the average person who has a 401k is an idiot. Not everybody. Most of the people who probably listen to this show are not in that. An idiot from an
investing standpoint.
Well, what I mean is we have some 401ks for companies that we manage, and we do that for the employer's benefit because they're the one that sets it up and they're the ones that actually receive the benefit because their employees generally, they'll quit or get fired or whatever, and they'll have a few
They don't even do
$1,000s in
anything.
it.
Yeah, it just sits in a default option.
Or they're like, I want the money. It's like, okay, federal taxes, state taxes, federal penalties, state penalties. So over 50% of it's going to go away. Yeah, fine.
Sounds good.
Send me a check.
Yeah, send me the check.
Okay. I'm going to go buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I still don't see this happening in 401ks because you have to understand that within those 401k plans, it is governed by ERISA, which does bestow a fiduciary duty on employers and company officials overseeing 401k investments. And that means legally employers must put the best interests of 401k investors first and act prudently when choosing which investments to offer or not to offer. And I just see this as a huge potential for lawsuits in cryptocurrencies if all of a sudden, let's say cryptos, because they are extremely volatile, they crash 70, 80, 90%. You put all of your money in Bitcoin because you believed in Bitcoin. What are you going to do? Probably going to sue your employer.
I think Bitcoin will be a part of 401ks. I think it will happen because, I mean, there's that movement that's going toward it, whether or not that's a good thing, but I think that will happen. But I mean, I'm going to talk about this a little bit as far as the fiduciary aspect of it goes. Fiduciary at the end of the day is subjective. I mean, if you think that something is in somebody's best interest, in many cases you can make that argument. Not always, but it's not like a black and white thing. So there might be lawsuits, but I would venture to guess that at some point cryptocurrency will be a part of retirement plans, ERISA, 401k plans. Yeah,
I don't think it should, and I think it's going to be a very slow adoption, though. I mean, you've already seen some plans, I believe, are offering it, but I just don't see a lot of employers. I mean, we talk to people all the time. There's a very small subset of people that even still believe in crypto. So you as an employer have to have that confidence, and now allowing that into your fund lineup, I still think mass adoption of this in 401k plans is at least years away because there's just not that longevity of it as an asset class. But could be wrong. I mean, we'll see. I hope that doesn't happen because I think people could get hurt. And I think the 401k is the best way. As much as I hate mutual funds generally, you really can't lose in your 401k long term. If you invest in a good mutual fund for 15, 20, 30 years, you're going to be able to retire just fine.
Well, with that consistent buying into it, I mean, no matter what, some funds are obviously better than others that you have access to in your 401k, and some 401k plans have a different list of funds, but any one of them with enough contributions into it should have a positive return over time.
Yeah, and I think that is the way that 401k should operate, and people might be saying, oh, but I could do so much better outside of it, but I think as a whole for society, I do believe having good, stable, diversified mutual funds is going to be probably the safest way to ensure success for people's retirement.
Yeah.
Especially without a pension system that we used to have.
I mean, when you look at the TSP, for example, the options inside of the TSP are so
realistically
simple.
6.
Yeah,
right?
There's a bunch
5
of
or 6.
There's a bunch of target date funds. There's cash. There's the S&P 500. There's a small cap, and there's an international.
So there's a bond.
And there's a bond one. But I mean, it again doesn't need to be complicated. And I mean, we see people all the time that come in here and they have TSPs, $1 million, $2 million, and it's not like they were maxing it out every year for 40 years. They were just putting whatever they were into it, and it grew.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. Again, long story short, just not big on Bitcoin. I think 401k should be a good asset for people long term, and I don't think Bitcoin should be part of that asset for those people as they retire.